Hello, hello, hello. Thank you all for listening in to tonight. Begin to Talk LLC and Power 106.3 FMKY Radio presents Begin to Talk Radio. I am your host, Elisha Durrett Johnson, and thank you all for listening in. If you're tuning in on Facebook Live, thank you for watching us. You can watch us every Thursday night at 7 p.m. at Begin to Talk LLC. I will make sure that we Facebook Live stream all of our shows so that you all can also view them. You can also go on KY Heart Media, and that is on iHeartRadio and Spotify. So if you go on iHeartRadio and Spotify at KY Heart Media, you can also listen, and you can also listen in at kyheartmedia.com. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Tonight we're going to have, before we go ahead and get started, we need to go ahead and shout out some of our sponsors. The first one we have up is Dope Designs by Nanny. Dope Designs by Nanny provides excellent t-shirts, and you all should go with them. Facebook, IG, and Twitter, you can find her at Dope Designs by Nanny. The web is dopedesignsbynanny.com. Also, we have Blood Moon Jewelry. For your herbal and energetic healing tools, we have bloodmoonjewelry.com, and you can also find them on IG at Blood Moon Jewelry. We have Diamond Elite Design Customs. You can find them at Facebook at Diamond Elite Design Customs. And also, finally, last but not least, it is brought to you by Begin to Talk LLC. We are here for all your mental health, your personal life coaching, and business consulting needs. You can find us at begintotalk.com, on Facebook at Begin to Talk LLC, or at Twitter and IG at Begin to Talk. Let's see. All right. Today we are going to go ahead and get started. I want to go ahead and give an introduction to myself. A lot of folks may know who I am, but not necessarily what I do, right? So, Begin to Talk LLC is the business that we started, and I'll go into a little bit of why and how we got started. That's an awesome story. However, right now, as far as a little bit about myself, I am a mental health counselor. I have a degree in a Master's of Education and Counseling with a concentration in clinical mental health. I am also currently in a PhD program at the University of Louisville. Shout out to the Pan-African Studies Department there. They are awesome. So I'm getting my PhD in Pan-African Studies. I have a background in working with clients that deal with trauma, OCD, anxiety, depression, couples relationships, couples therapy, different kinds of things, but I pretty much deal with all of them. I'm used to dealing with different populations and the sickest of the sick as well. A little bit more about myself and about the business Begin to Talk. Begin to Talk was founded by my late husband, Juwan Johnson. It's kind of funny how that story also is going to tie back into our entire theme of today, which is trauma and grief. However, my late husband, I met him about 14 years ago, and he's the love of my life. We have a total blended family of 9 children. Yes, 2 people in grad school can have a blended family of 9 children and still be successful. Shout out to Black Love. So we met 14 years ago, and he just kind of swept me out of my feet, and he's been my rock, and everything that I saw my future through his eyes. That's literally what it was with Juwan and I, and we had a very strong bond and a strong connection. We finally tied the knot last year on September the 23rd. So September the 23rd, we tied the knot, and it was awesome. It was the best day of my life, but the most stressful day of my life at the same time. We were married for about 7 months. And on our 7th-month anniversary, is when tragedy struck us. We were both in a horrific car accident. Horrific. And from the results of that car accident, my husband was in the hospital for about a month and a half. And then my husband passed away on my late father's birthday, the late Reverend Marvin Durrett. But he died on my husband's birthday. On my father's birthday. It was a very traumatic thing for me to go through, not just with the car accident and all the memories that come from that, but also with dealing now with raising four small children of my own and a blended family of 9, right? So that's pretty much where we were. And now, a blended family, meaning my 4 children. I have an oldest of 14, and my second youngest is 12, and she'll be 13. And then I have a set of 3-year-old, precious, very energetic twins, all of which miss their dad very much. So, needless to say, I've been through some traumatic things myself, even as a mental health professional, and dealing with those things and processing that entire experience has been a different experience for me as a professional. Knowing things, knowing cycles, educating folks on those is one thing, but when you have gone through it yourself, it's a complete other. So that's another reason why this is circling back today, talking about trauma and whatnot. I wanted to make sure that I introduced our special guest. We have a couple of folks with us tonight. First one here that we're going to introduce is Amber Ritchie. Amber Ritchie is a cousin of mine. And it'll all tie in. I don't just invite family on the show, and it is for a reason. So I'll tell you a little bit about that in just a moment. Hi, Amber.
How y'all doing?
You want to say anything to anybody right now? Hi.
Hi, family, friends.
Hi, family, friends.
Big head, everybody.
My other guest to my left here is my other cousin. Again, I don't have nothing but family on, I promise you. However, today is going to tie back in. My other cousin, Brittany Hinkle, is also with me. Say hello to the people.
Hey, y'all.
You want to say anything else, or is that about it?
That's about it.
That's
right
about
now.
it.
Yeah.
All right. So I invited Amber to the show, and I'm gonna tie this all back in because she has also gone through traumatic experiences and the recent loss and death of her brother, which is also my cousin. And we'll talk about that story in just a bit. Brittany was an avid support system. About 2 weeks in to me being in the hospital, she came and stayed with me. I was there for about a month and a half, a little bit over that, and she stayed the entire month plus with me in the hospital, kind of taking care of me in the situation, but also being there and checking on my husband, and just every day, spending the night at the hospital with me every night, and making sure that I had someone to talk to. So thank you so much for that. I know I helped you, but thanked you before, but I had to thank you again. Okay. So I do have to give a disclaimer and stop for just 1 second, because I do not take trauma nor grief lightly. And so I do want to give a disclaimer and a warning to some of our folks that may have witnessed and or experienced trauma in the past. It is a very real thing. Trauma affects everybody differently, and there are different types of trauma. that is very, very imperative to point out, and I want to make sure that I continue to say that there are different types of trauma, and everybody is individual and handles them in their own way. So we will provide a suicide hotline number. I do not believe that a lot of folks will need that, but I just want to do that just in case. And also, if anybody ever needs to talk to me or give a shout out in any kind of way, or need any help, or just want to discuss trauma related issues, you can also inbox me at Begin to Talk, and or email me at info@begintotalk.com. Okay. Now that we've gotten that part out of the way, I want to kind of flash forward to recent trauma and recent traumatic events that have happened, and kind of frame the rest of our conversation. So I've already discussed the traumatic events and the trauma that I have had in the past with my own husband and losing him and his loss, and not necessarily how that affected my children, because I didn't go into that, but how it does individually affect everyone differently, and it did individually impact me as well. So I kind of want to flash forward to recent events that have happened. My family is wonderful, and they have wrapped their loving arms and support around me, and they invited myself and my 4 children to a recent family vacation in Florida. And we were there, and while we were there, we went down to the beach one day, and the day when we visited the beach, we weren't there not even 15 minutes, and we had a tragic accident where I lost the life of my cousin, Ritchie. Stefan tragically drowned, saving the lives of his children, and ushering in his boys to safety before the waves and the current kind of overtook him, and he wasn't able to make it. That entire experience really impacted our entire family, all in different ways. All of his children except for one, Stefan had 6 children, 5 of which were on the vacation and at the beach with us. Additionally, my 4 children were at the beach. His sister, Amber, who is with us today, was at the beach. I was there. And his uncle was also there. So 10 children, including his uncle's daughter, 10 children witnessed a traumatic event, something that they will have to pretty much deal with and work through, not necessarily for the rest of their lives, but may come up and impact them in different parts of their lives. Okay. That is kind of heavy to segue into. However, it was very necessary. So in dealing with trauma and in dealing with different things in life, I just want to kind of pause for a second, because everybody handles things differently, and I believe that there are good things and not so good things to do if you're wanting to help someone who's been through a traumatic situation as well. I've gotten that question a lot. However, this story made national news. It even hit Fox News, and shout out to everybody who gave love and support that helped out and contributed to that GoFundMe as well to help bury him. So, saying all that, and I do have tissues at hand, because I'm sure that I will tear up, or anybody else in here will, because this is a real conversation. However, I just kind of wanted to turn the attention to you for a second, Amber, and ask you a couple of questions. Just not necessarily how you were doing, because that is probably the most asinine question to ask at this time. However, just to check in with you and see what are some of the helpful things that folks have been doing, and then what are some of the not so helpful things that folks have been doing to help you during this time.
I would first like to say I appreciate the support from everybody, Facebook, um, strangers, like everything. Like y'all been wonderful to me and my family. Um, the helpful things that people did for me and my family was just be there. Like they did different errands because it was really stressful trying to lay my brother to rest. Like, you know, it still feels like a dream or whatever. So, like, we just had a lot of support from family, friends, and strangers. I really appreciate that. Like, I don't know where I would be without some of the family members that God had placed in my life through this traumatic stage.
So it sounds like family support, wraparound support, a lot of hugs, a lot of love, a lot of just listening, being there,
Yeah.
as a sounding board.
Even people coming and making us laugh, and people coming and like strangers coming up to me or writing me on Facebook and telling me the good things about my brother that I had no clue about. Like that gave me peace. And he had gamer friends, and they sent me clips of my brother laughing and like good stuff. Like
So I remember one of those stories that one of his gamer friends actually sent in, and I remember, I think it was one of the friends that had stated that Stefan had took some time out of his own schedule to mentor her son,
yes.
right?
Yeah, she said that her son was being bullied at school, and my brother took time out of his day to play whatever game it was with her son and reassure him that he would be fine, and you know, not to worry about the bullies, and like that really touched my heart because I did not know that about my brother.
The national impact.
Yes.
That lady wasn't even in this country.
No, she wasn't.
Yeah. So he had a not national, the world impact, right?
He really did.
Yeah. Having that help, having that wraparound service, having folks reach out, having those stories, being able to share, and just be present with people. I think that's so important when we talk about trauma and dealing with that trauma and getting through that. Or even finding like-minded people that have been through the same types of things.
Yes. And like, I feel like people need to be mindful about how you approach people that have just lost a loved one.
Give me an example of that. So it seems like something we're getting into the not necessarily of what not to do, which is fine because this is begin to talk, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about what not to do.
You know, everybody's saying when somebody dies is I'm sorry for your loss. Well, sorry doesn't help. It doesn't bring back that person. I don't know. It's kind of just watch what you say and how you say things when somebody's lost somebody.
Yes.
And then, you know, everybody grieves a different way. And the way I kind of lashed out, I was kind of mean on the way back from the trip. I was angry. I was hurt. I mean, that's my only brother.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like,
But folks allowed you that.
yeah, my
allowed
family
you that
sure
either.
did. Yeah, because I'm not really normally like that. I'm quiet, but I was angry because I felt like my brother didn't have that much time on this earth. I didn't get that much time with him, and neither did his kids and my mother
Yes.
and my father and everybody else.
Stefan was 38 years old,
He
right?
was 38.
That's another reason why I'm talking about that today. You know, both of us lost someone early in age, right? So Stefan was 38. My husband Juwan was 40, and they both, were just gone too soon.
And they both love their kids and their family.
Yeah.
They really did. They were two good men.
Yeah. And the world really lost two excellent people. I always said that my husband was going to be the next Charles Hamilton Houston. He was going to take down the system politically and change the world. So I'm going to do it for you, baby.
That's right.
I'm going to do it for you. Okay, that's a good one. And that actually segues into, what I was going to discuss about what not to do, right? In trauma and trauma-informed care. Allowing people spaces to be them else grieves, right?
Yes.
Because you really and truly just do not understand. And it's okay. It's okay not to understand and to say just that. I don't understand what's going on, but I'm here for you. And to just be that present person. And my pastor, the very brilliant Dr. Reverend Kylan Gray, I like saying the whole thing, it's Dr. Reverend Kylan Gray. He always puts things in a way that just makes it very plain, right? And a lot of people can just get it when so many people, he calls it well-meaning versus meaning well, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'll find a lot of people who mean well, and they mean well in all the things that they are trying to say to you, all those colloquialisms, all those sayings, the Bible verses, and everything else that we say to kind of comfort folks during their time of need, right?
Right.
Those are all the things that we say. However, knowing that you don't understand is okay. So I'm going to read a quote from him, a post that I had to repost here. Thank you, Doc, for posting this. He said, "No, you don't understand. Even if you've lost a loved one like another, even if you've experienced a similar trauma, even if you're grieving the loss of someone or something that meant everything to you like someone else, you don't understand. You don't understand their loss. You don't understand their pain. You don't understand their sorrow. You don't understand their emotion. You don't understand their response. You just don't understand. It's not necessary for you to understand. It is necessary for you to be there. Shut up.
Yes.
You hear that?
I said please.
Be there, shut up, and listen. Provide holy ground for the person to be the human being God made them to be during their most unusual times and moments in their lives. 2 big ears, 1 tiny mouth. Just simply be the gospel, no time to preach. When I tell you, sometimes that man can just put things in perspective. And folks just don't get and don't understand that they don't have to. You don't have to get what I'm going through in order to help me. You just have to be there.
That even hit me because being around you, I'm always trying to pour into you and encourage you, and that taught me that sometimes you just need to just be quiet and let people talk and get it out without trying to fix somebody. Or
that kind of segues into what I was going to talk and bring you into anyway. So that's a really good segue, Brittany, because Brittany, like I stated before, she was there during the times in which I needed her in the hospital, and I literally prayed to God to send me someone so I did not lose my mind. I thought I had it together, and I had it together. I had my family and everything else, but secretly I didn't, and I knew I didn't. And so I prayed for God to send me somebody so I didn't lose it, so I didn't snap, so I didn't go over the edge, because I didn't leave the hospital. I didn't even leave my husband's side. I didn't even go off of the unit or downstairs to even get anything to eat. I stayed by his side the entire time, the entire month and a half. So to have someone there to make sure I ate, not just provide food, but say, hey, sit down and eat it, right now. Those types of things, like, that was very imperative to me, just for my survival with this. And even afterwards, we have different discussions. So just going back to you, for someone who has been helping, and you're like a helper, right? And we always said that you were called to do missionary work. And your first test was with me. So thank you. But in that, learning, like you said, to just give people like their space. What else? Anything else? Any other advice that you would give to someone that wants to help someone during this time and in their time of need?
I feel like maybe acts of service really helped. You had a lot of errands that needed to be ran, and from laundry and kids being transported, and I felt that helped a lot. Just asking what needs need to be met, even if they can't vocalize what it is. Sit back and observe and see what's causing the stress that they can't control.
And to give a little bit more of a picture to that, when she says running errands and running children around and everything else, I'm telling you, I didn't leave. So therefore, I did not see my children for over a month and a half. I seen them one time, and then towards the end, when I had my girls come up to the hospital maybe one other time. So I went a whole entire month without seeing my 3-year-old twins. And when I did see them, it was only for a couple of hours and they went back home. So it was very, very difficult for me to navigate and manage that. And so when she's saying running kids and running errands, it literally was running kids and running errands. I had to step back from being a mom, and I hit the pause button and said thank you to everybody who is going to take care of my kids, because I'm not doing it today. I'm not doing it tomorrow. I'm not doing anything because I'm not leaving this hospital without my husband. So I stepped into wife-only mode. And unfortunately that didn't happen. However, the rally support and cry that I had was so imperative for my survival. So anything else that you would give? Any other advice?
I think our faith helped us
Yes.
a great deal through it. When she said that she prayed for someone to come help her, I felt it very heavy on my spirit for God to send me somewhere to be of service. And I did not know that was going to change my whole life.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would go to work every morning, get off at 3-4 o'clock, and then go straight to the hospital and stay with her. But we learned to pray together. And pray with other people. We met so many people and saw God do so many miracles while we were having our stay down there. We found solace in scripture a lot. We did have a whole window that we wrote all the scriptures that meant something to us and that were encouraging to us. So I don't think we would have gotten through it without our Lord.
Right.
I'm also, as you all know, or probably didn't know until now, I am paying attention to our Facebook Live, and if you all have any posts or any questions, you can put them in there as well, okay? And I would try to get to at least 1 or 2 of them before the end of the night. Thank you all. I do have one response here from Rita Harris, who is also an avid supporter and prayer warrior. Look, if y'all want somebody to pray for y'all need to call Rita Harris, okay? When I tell you this chick prays, took out the book of prayer, called me in the middle of the night praying. I call her in the middle of the night, she dropped down to her knees automatically praying. When I tell you, honey, that prayer support system and those prayer warriors are needed. They really are. So thank you, Brittany. Thank you. So we're not just talking about just trauma, but how do we deal with that? How do we deal with this thing called life and everything that continues to happen to us? No matter what, we can drive, we can be on our way home and not necessarily make it, right? That's literally what happened. My husband and I were on our way to take finals and do our final papers and we had the same grad class together when the man decided to hit us and change my entire life and eventually end his. We were just going to have fun with all of our kids, and we're at the beach for less than 15 minutes when tragic struck our family again, and we lost the life of another very brave soul. So what do we do? How do we do it? How do we deal with this thing called life, right? So I don't want to use my pastor for everything, but I am going to use him for one more thing. Shout out to New Mount Zion. Y'all need to go get y'all some church in your life. Go online, something. Get you some guide, get you some church. But I often text my pastor in the middle of the night. It can be 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. He said utilize me that way, so I do. I'll text him about anything. And I recently texted him and just asked him, how do you feel broken? How do you begin to process and heal your spirit, right? Like your body can be healed from trauma. How do you heal your spirit, right? I understand the mind, right? We can talk about how to heal your mind, how to, different things, but how to heal your spirit. And it's funny because the things that he told me to heal my spirit are the exact same things that I would tell someone to heal their mind. Right?
Let's hear it.
So let's go. All right. First thing, he said writing. Okay, so let's just give this. I wrote this at 12:57 a.m. He responded with love at 5:35 a.m. So thank you, Pastor. Writing. He said writing, right? Journaling. Right? That includes journaling. A lot of times that helps a lot of folks.
I do that.
A lot of times it does. It helps you.
Yeah, music.
Ooh, music is a good one.
Yes.
Music's not even on here.
Yeah,
Good job.
I do music therapy.
Yeah.
Like right after I found out my brother passed, and on the way back to where was we? Davenport, Florida.
Yeah. You weren't that.
My nieces and nephews, they probably thought I was crazy because I was bumping music, and it was music that my brother would listen to.
Mm-hmm.
That was my therapy, and that kind of made me feel close to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You say music, and oh my goodness, the minute you said music, it popped in my head. So I also utilize music therapy as well, right?
Uh-huh.
I call on our ancestors a lot, and we'll talk about that on another show. But it is a real thing in Pan-Africanism, and we do call on our ancestors. When you are absent from the body, you are present with the Lord. However, the Lord is omnipresent. So where He is, our ancestors are also. That is one of the things that gave me complete solace, and pretty much the only thing that gives me any relief, right? So therefore, our ancestors are here as well, right? So if that is the case, then that means that they are present with us just like the Lord. So I used to do the same exact thing, right?
Right.
I would spend a lot of alone time in the car. And a lot of people didn't really understand that at first. They were like, oh my goodness, your kids are in the house and everything else, and I haven't seen you in so long. You're spending a long time in the car again. And I'm like, leave me alone. Let me wrap my mind around everything that's going on. Let me process this thing called life, right?
Yeah,
because it just hit me and changed my whole life. So in that, I would talk, and when I would talk to Juwan openly, just me and him in the car still, right? That was our favorite place to be, with the car.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, he loved that car. So I would talk to him, and I would have his Apple Music, the music that he downloaded to his phone, playing in the background at the same time, and I would be crying or anything else, and then all of a sudden, a song would pop on. Like, it's not even a lot of R. Kelly on his phone at all, right? But all of a sudden, Dedicate My Life to You comes on when I'm talking about him losing his life, or just different songs. I'll be feeling myself looking in the mirror and being like, am I cute today? And then, the little song Chocolate Legs will come on, and I'm like, I guess I am. Thank you, baby. Thank you, baby. Because, that's what he would do, right?
Yeah.
Right. That's how. And so it was like connecting with your, he is an ancestor now. So connecting with the ancestor, connecting with your loved one, right?
Yeah.
And having them talk back to you. And that's okay. There's nothing crazy. I hate that word crazy, guys. Crazy about doing that, right? That's a very spiritual thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to do that. So music, thank you for saying that. Journaling, very, very, very important.
I think journaling is so important because it gets everything that's bouncing around in my head out.
Yeah. And if you are scared to have somebody like look at it or whatever, if you're scared, you know, somebody might look at it, burn it.
Right. And that's actually a release that I have done with clients in the past. Have them write a letter or an empty chair technique, right? Or imagining
I've done it on the balloon.
On a balloon.
Like a message on the balloon.
And let it float away?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Balloons are always very therapeutic. You let them off in the air.
Yeah.
I think we did that for his funeral.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. So writing, music, all of those things. The next thing, therapy. Get yourself a couch and a chair. Somebody that you can depend on. Somebody that you can talk to. Preferably a culturally competent therapist, so you won't have to search for several. Sorry about that, but we are working on our game. So therapy is really important, and I just want to stop for that a second. The reason why it's really important is because it helps the person to normalize their feelings and understand that they are not the only ones going through this thing, and it's not just happening to them, right? But at the same time, affirming what is happening to them is happening to them. It's very important, and it can be a complete stress relief to talk to someone that is not in a judgmental place, right? Doesn't know anything about you, can't go back and spread lies or anything like that, rumors. It's HIPAA compliant, they can't say anything. You know, those types of things, right? It's very, very powerful to do so, and unfortunately our community doesn't utilize that resource as much. We'll just take everything to God, and I always pause and say that is a wonderful thing to do. Take things to the Lord, please, but leave them there, because what happens is people go to the altar and then they pick it right back up and walk about the door, and then they see me later.
I'm guilty.
That's the thing called anxiety. That's what we don't do. So when I say using God as an avoidance technique, that's what I mean. Not necessarily saying, oh, I'm just going to pray and it's not working. No, of course, pray, please, pray more. That's the one thing that I know God does want us to do, right? However, don't use them as an avoidance technique.
Faith without works is dead.
Faith without works is dead. Good. Yes. I think I'm going to write an entire piece about that, but that's for another show. So the next thing on the list is loving family, right? And loving themselves. So loving family, having that rally of support to come around you, choosing the folks and being careful of choosing those folks. The world is not your friend when you lose someone. Everyone wants to know what's going on. Everyone wants another story, a recount of the trauma. And the whole time you're asking someone what's going on, what happened? What is it?
People.
And it's like a revisit, a reintroduction to the same trauma that someone just went through. So when someone goes through a traumatic situation, it's almost better to ask somebody else. Rather than to keep asking that person to recount their trauma.
Especially for that purpose is
That's what I had to tell them. Do not call me.
Do not call me. Do not.
For
Please
real.
don't. I mean, because it makes sense, right? It makes sense. We're re-traumatizing, we're re-triggering the same person that just went through that traumatic experience by saying, what happened?
well, what's the purpose in asking?
Right.
You know,
Right.
is it to benefit the person that's grieving or for you to
That's
know
a really good one. Right.
for yourself?
Probably both. You know, they want to know it all.
They want to know it all. That's okay. And it's good. It's good that folks want to help. That is nothing wrong with folks wanting to help. I want people to help, right?
Mhm.
Like we said, the outpour of cry and support with with the GoFundMe for my husband and
my brother.
And for Amber's brother, Stefan. It was overwhelming, right?
Yeah.
The amount of just support and love that came from total and complete strangers, right? But it was very much needed. Loving thyself. Okay. So we can have a whole show on loving thyself, and we're not going to right now, but we don't prioritize ourselves. And for people that do not prioritize themselves, when tragedy strikes, we go into work mode. Those types of people, because I did it, go into work mode, right? We prioritize everybody else around us. So therefore, even in within work mode, right? So we're the ones that are doing the obituaries. We're the ones that are making sure everything is planned. We're the ones that are making sure everybody else is taken care of. But we are not paying attention to ourselves, our own emotions, and how we handle things, right? So paying attention to yourself is very, very important.
Burnout is real.
Oh my goodness, the burnout is real. And when you get burnt out, then the frustration, anger, and displaced anger comes with it.
Let me tell you what I was burnt out on.
Okay, what's up?
The chicken and the lunch meat.
Oh Lord have mercy. I don't know what it is about the stereotype of black people and chicken. We do love chicken, but everybody loves chicken.
But the lunch meat and the chicken.
So do you have any requests then? What would you like now?
Right.
Some casseroles,
I'll
some
make you
spaghetti, something.
Okay.
We like to eat in our family.
Yes, we love to eat.
do. Yes.
And lunch meat. Shout out to lunch.
Nitrates.
Right.
Man.
All of that. The next one down on the list was praying. Right. And we've already talked about the power of prayer, the importance of prayer. And, you know, prayer kind of relinquish your responsibility over things. If you're a control freak, and you are praying, which is a good thing, it kind of helps to relinquish that control. And it's because it's the control or the, what I call it, the illusion of control.
Yeah, we're not gods.
No, we're not. We're not at all. So the illusion of control. So slowly numbing. Numbing is an important one. Allowing yourself to just feel all of your feelings and be present at the moment, whether that is numb or not. I will say with numbing, you need to be important. You need to be very, very careful with not letting your pain stunt you. Not letting your pain stunt you is a very powerful thing. Knowing your emotions, sitting with your emotions, being with your emotions are one thing, but allowing that pain and that situation to now become your life is then stunting you for your future, right?
You're identifying yourself as
that situation.
Yeah.
No, and that's not
who you are.
No, that's not your purpose and why you're here on this earth. So trusting when you can. Trusting when you can is another one. A lot of times when we lose folks, we stop trusting. We stop trusting God. We stop trusting life. We stop trusting people. I remember when Juwan passed away and all of the people that were praying for him. We had people, pastors in Texas, and we had all kind of folks, right? That were just rallying cries, and I truly believed and had the faith that he was going to overcome the situation and God was going to heal him. God did heal him. He just healed him in a different way. But not the way I wanted, right? Not the way that I believe that I was told. So it took, and it's taking, let's say taking, right? Taking time for me to trust him again.
Yes. Right?
And what's funny is that all the things that everyone else tells me doesn't help. You know what helped me the other day? Kanye West. It is the most, like, I don't even deal with Kanye like that, right?
Yeah,
like a lot of folks, I'm trying to tell you, a lot of black folks pulled his card and was like, "What are you doing?" When he was talking about slavery and everything else, right? But literally, his new album that whole Jesus is King album, yeah, shout out to Jesus is King album. I'm telling you how that album brought me back to trusting, having a spiritual experience listening to Kanye West.
So what song did you like? Yeah.
I like the whole album. I literally just put it on repeat.
Well, I'm gonna have to listen to that this weekend.
Yeah, I just put it on
While I'm on
repeat.
my staycation.
Like, yeah. That's important too.
Yeah.
But honestly, like from beginning to end, I was able to listen to the entire thing. It just talked about the conversation. It was almost like the world was having a conversation with the church.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just individualized through him.
Mm-hmm.
And I could feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And I understood it. And some folks may stop listening to me right now because I said it. But honestly, I mean, in beginning to talk the honest way, that album helped me. So music was another way in which I found my way back. Music's always that way for me.
Yes.
But that's,
Oh yes, for me too.
yeah, music is a huge therapy. So those are some of the things that can help. There is no easy button. I said that to another friend of mine, another cousin of mine. I want an easy button. I just want to go to Staples, buy an easy button, hit it, and reset my emotions. Okay, fine. If I can't have my husband anymore, okay, fine. If you can't have your brother anymore, okay, things happen in life, but I just want to hit, that is easy, and then I'm reset. But that's not how life is. Right?
That don't work like that.
It don't work like that. That's not how life is. So working through the process is very, very important, but understanding that there is no defined time on that process, right? There's no defined time. There are things that we even deal with called anniversary effects, right? It's a psychological term, meaning when the death or a traumatic event, that date comes up the next year, right? And sometimes, and this is funny, y'all. I'm telling you, I lost my father in 1997. So it's what, 21 years ago, 22, 22 years ago, right? I lost my father, and at different times in my life, even at first, I never forgot the date, right? But then there was a year in which I forgot the date, but all of my emotions were still the same.
Wow.
So I started snapping off on folks. So if you see me August the 31st, not August, excuse me, not August, March. If you see me March the 31st of any year around that time, which is actually Brittany's birthday, sorry, but that's the day that my father, and that's my biological sister Limo's birthday too. But yeah, that's the day that my father passed away. And so for me, that anniversary effect and dealing with that, being present and knowing, okay, give myself some time. Maybe I need to back up today. Today's a good day to call into work, right? Let's take that self-reflection, that self-time, that prioritizing yourself during those times are very, very, very important.
Just slow down. Like, don't move too fast. Slow down. Take your time.
Yes. When we move, our anxiety builds. The physiological effects from the anxiety builds. All of a sudden, you have the sweat, you have this, you have the nervousness, and that causes us to react in different ways.
But that's interesting because it's so hard to sit still because you feel so horrible.
Right.
Yeah.
So how, finding that
So that's
balance.
all I've been doing is like trying to stay busy.
Right.
Exactly.
And I need to take some time, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Feel what you feel
this weekend and just breathe, because I haven't had that chance.
And knowing that, and I know we are 3 women sitting here, but I do not want to discount men at all. At all. Men are very present with their feelings. They just experience and may show them differently, right? But they very much experience the very same things that we do. They're told as a society to hold everything in. That's a whole nother show. However, that can be very toxic, at times, and come out in different ways as well.
Yeah.
So making time for yourself to grieve. I think Amber kind of summed that up for me, and being slow, intentionally slow, and allowing yourself that time. Don't rush. This is not the time to rush, guys. So I know that this is not a one size fits all. There are many other things that folks can do inside of the things that we have placed as well, we have just talked about, and could break down this and have probably a couple more hours to talk about, honestly. But we're almost out of time. So just to wrap everything up and to thank you all for coming out is one thing, but before we give our last shout out to our sponsors and whatnot, I just kind of want to answer one of the questions. I think Rita Harris posted, do you all feel that your spirituality helped with the healing or allowed for blaming to occur?
Ooh.
I didn't blame God. Like when I realized my brother was dead, it was peace about me because I knew God had my brother. So my faith and knowing that my brother's safe in his arms,
Yes.
I ain't gotta worry no more about my brother. Now I got a guardian angel forever, you know.
Yes.
I have a couple, but I got my brother. My brother was my protector.
Right.
From the time I was born
Right.
to the time he died.
Right. It's like we both lost our protectors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That is. I think for me, it said, so I'm gonna repeat the question for those that are just joining. Do you all feel that your spirituality helped with the healing or allowed for blaming to occur? For me, it did both. It really allowed for blaming to occur because, like I stated before, I won't go over it a lot, but like I stated before, I was mad at God. I expected for him to be healed. Everyone around me expected to be healed. I had a lot of people, many people who had never prayed, said they had prayed the hardest in their entire life. You know, for him to be healed, right? And started to believe and have that relationship with God through prayer, which was awesome. However, when he didn't make it, that was very difficult.
It was disappointment.
Oh my goodness. I was
fullest.
Yeah. So it wasn't necessarily just anger. It was anger, but I was disappointed with God. I felt like I was set up. I felt like, okay, so I prayed and I did this and I did that, and you know what's coming from it, right? But not understanding and the why, which I really didn't care about. You know, even if you do get the why on someone passes away or why on why trauma happens, it doesn't change the result. It doesn't change the fact that I do not have him, right? So for me, I did a lot of blaming for a long time, and I think I'm getting over that in a process. So I'm not all the way there yet. I still have my moments in which I do want to blame, and I have open conversations with God. I think that is very important. It's a conversation amongst friends, right? So I have an open conversation with God and tell them my disappointments. Tell them I'm pissed off. And it's okay to say that, right? It's okay. It's okay to be present. It's okay to do all of that. That is not questioning God. That is having a relationship with God. That is different. God gave us these emotions and human for a reason, correct?
Yeah.
So, you know, allowing yourself to be that, to be human is very important. All right. So I know that this was a little heavy, so we can breathe for a second.
I was a little nervous.
I know.
I was a little nervous.
Yeah,
I feel all right, though.
Just a conversation.
I'm ready for bed.
Just a conversation amongst friends.
All the time.
I'm telling you, begin to talk. I'm trying to tell you, I do not bite y'all unless y'all really hungry.
There's some chicken.
Right. So shout out again to our sponsors. We're gonna do Dope Designs by Nanny. You crazy? Dope Designs by Nanny. You can find her on Facebook, IG, and Twitter at Dope Designs by Nanny. Also dopedesignsbynanny.com. Blood Moon Jewelry. You can find them for all your herbal and energetic needs, healing tools. Excuse me. I'm gonna get this together one day, y'all. You can find them on bloodmoonjewelry.com. You can find them on IG at Blood Moon Jewelry. Our next one down is Diamond Elite Design Customs. You can find them on Facebook at Diamond Elite Design Customs. And last but not least, It's also brought to you by Begin to Talk LLC. Begin to Talk LLC. You can find them at begintotalk.com. We're on Facebook at Begin to Talk LLC. Please like our page. And then we are also on Twitter and IG at Begin to Talk.
Wait, hang on. But what about booking an appointment for therapy?
Yes,
Yes,
do.
I was going to say that, but thank you all for saying it. Hey, y'all need a couch? Come see me. No, the unique thing about our business is that we are majority online. So I do have an secure online platform in which I am able to see clients and attend to their needs. We're trying to destigmatize mental health, which is another show, guys. However, I thank you all. Thank you so much for just tuning in tonight on our first show. Trauma is a heavy topic to talk about. During the month of November, we will be talking a little more about trauma, and we will touch suicide a little bit just because this is Suicide Awareness Month as well. So I do not want to be remiss to include those folks. Again, if you all have any issues, or I just wanted to shout out that we do have, you all can inbox if anything, trauma related or informed has come up and that you want to have that discussion. Please reach out to me at any time. All right. So you can find us next week, same day, same time. Ooh, I sounded country. Same day, same time. No, same day, same time. Thursdays at 7 p.m. You can find us at Begin to Talk Radio. And next week we will continue our trauma/suicide discussion. And then in the month of December, we are going to focus on relationships and all of the above. So it's a lot to talk about.
I ain't got time for that.
Yeah, you got time. Well, thank you all.
Oh, God.
Thank you all. And thanks for joining. See you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.